Okay, we should be live. And that has started. So today here we're going to talk about that. Not that, I'm sorry. My VS Code didn't... Oh, I cannot change the properties when... I have to stop streaming. Oh, I'm back live here. Sorry, I had a mishap. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to review I have some trouble today. Sorry about that. I need to refresh my capture. OBS. Hello. I'm sorry. I'm like fixing my my thing here. I'm getting confused. And then I have my cool stuff over there. It is going to come soon. Sorry about that. And then if I press this, okay, this is a weird thing. I'm sorry about that. Is okay. I should be fine now. Okay, sorry about that. We're live and we're up to date. So the thing here that we're going to talk about today, so the thing I've started here, and today I had to do some setup here, I'm sorry about that, is we're going to talk about this ad hoc, this one, the ad hoc live stream. So now what I started to do is when I need to do a code for myself, and it's something that I can do public, I'm trying to do as much as possible live streams. So that is going to be one experiment I'm going to do for like a month or something. And if people like it, I will keep it going and so on. So feel free to share and to join the membership. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm trying to give as much as possible for free here. So everything, the streaming will be public for these ad hoc live streams. And then it will be for 12 hours, 24 hours. I will keep it public. And then early access for the for 2 days for the early access, sorry. And then the live stream will be indefinitely. And the live stream also, they have another kind of program here, which is more about just the live stream. And that is schedule live streams. So I ask the topic, and then we schedule it, and then we have the focus on production coding and architecture. So that is a kind of the two programs that I have. And so this way here, this guy here is pretty neat because this way we can, a lot of people can enjoy this kind of things. So right now here, today, this is going to be what we're going to talk about. And this is a part 3. So I already had 2 parts before. And this is a part 3, and it's basically the making of the video of Rust and SQLite. So I'm going to make this video. It's going to be, short and concise, 20 to 40 minutes, and it's going to explain how to use SQLite and with Rust. But before I do these videos, which is 20 to 40 minutes, I prepare them, and I have a little story. And I do it with the examples here. We're going to see that. And so my goal is to say, while I'm doing that, I'm going to do that live now. So this is one of the things. So back to the code. And the way that I like to structure my code when I do experiment or exploration is with the examples. So the thing I like to do is I have the lib like that, which is this and it's things that are shared. So in this case, I have a set of DB utils that we created in the past. So again, in the video here, we created that in the past. And in the videos that I will put public, a normal video, I will have these things in 20 to 40 minutes. So today we are building that. Yeah. And the thing I've done is I put some utils. I have a DB print, which is pretty cool because it allows you to print the tables in a nice way. And then the seed, today the seed is just a seed of schema, which just create this schema. This way, in those guys, C02, C03, I don't have to recreate all the time the same thing. So that is a way that I learn libraries. Like when I have a library a little bit bigger, like Rust Sqlite, which is very small and very well done, but I want to have all these steps, and sometimes I want to have reusable things across all my examples. So this is what I use. It works beautifully. And in the cargo here, it's XP SQLite. I don't repeat the Rust here because I will import it here, so it will be silly. And then the only thing we're using is Rust Sqlite. The latest version here, just released a while back, is awesome because it has probably the latest SQLite. And we can print it anyway. I need to look at it. You can print it, the version of the SQLite with a SQL statement. So it's pretty cool. And then bundles, this means that we are bundling it inside our binary file. And this is super cool because then you have one binary that has everything. And you don't have to link or whatever. So that is the thing. And then we have 3 examples. The first one here is very simple, and I put everything there. So this one I'm trying to reuse. I just reuse a print table, but I try to reuse not that much. So I create the schema by hand. And that is what we did before today and yesterday. We review the difference between strict and not strict. Again, that will be on the final video. And basically, strict means that you are guaranteed that these column names have these types. Not strict, sometimes you can have string in year of birth, for example, if you put a string that is not a number. But that doesn't mean strict is not the Postgres strict. Mean that you can give a string that will, if it's a valid number, it will be fine. It will be translated to an integer and everything will be fine. If it's a string that is not a number, then it will complain. So it's strict enough. And then we do the prepare statement, and then we'll print the things here without the cool print table, and here we print the table. So if I do a bacon, I like bacon. I've done a video over there. You can look at it. And if you do a bacon run dash 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 quiet dash dash example C01 simple, then boom, you should have that. It's pretty cool. We have Jen. That is a debug, which is pretty neat. And that is the print table. So that's why I like the print table. And the print table is pretty cool because you can print the table, you can print SQL, and you can print a row. So very cool. Now, the next step is the join. So this one kind of boring. Create the schema. So this time I create the schema. So like this, I create the person and the org. And so the schema right now is very dumb. Is we have an org and we have a person. So I took person because in Rust Sqlite, they have person as well. So I decided to keep the person, and then a person can belong only to one org in these mini examples. Usually in production, I have many-to-many, but in this case, it's completely fine. So that is what we have here. I didn't put it not null because I don't want to put too strict in my data model. In production, often, I don't want to talk too much about production, but in production, often what I have is I have an org that has 2 modes, which is personal or non-personal or group or whatever. Yeah? And when it's personal, it means that any person will have always an org anyway, which will be their personal org. And then when it's not, multiple people can belong to it. And that allows me to have every person has always at least an org. So sometimes I do that, not all the time. But this is something sometimes I do. So like this, if I attach roles or things in role, in org, I can have it there. And then obviously when it's your org. And it's a little bit the way that GitHub, I think, works. Yeah? When you create an account, you might have your own org. I don't know how they did it internally. So that is what I have. But right now, this is plenty enough. And in the join, what we have is we create the schema. We do the insert here of the org, the famous Acme guy, for people that are old enough. I don't know if people are still using that. And the other day, someone tell me what it was. I already forgot. But and then we create users. We have a very dirty trick here to say, if it's odd number, the index, not the ID. The index, if it's an odd number, then it has an org ID. Otherwise, it doesn't have anything. And that is just to show how we can put new inside a command. And here we execute a prepare statement. And here's the values. That is an example. And then we query it here. We do a select. We do our join because we are on the C02 join. And we do select from join. We do those guys. And those guys here, this is a way. So here again, on this one, we learn a little bit more. That's the way with Rust Sqlite that you can do. So that result to be a positional one. It's a name one when you can name it. You start query and you give your tuple and you can give them. Okay, so that is the thing. Don't want to go too deep here, but the tuples, it looks like they make it look very dynamic in a way, but this is going to be into value in a way. So that is the param stuff. And then you print rows. So that is it's pretty cool. We have the print row, which is used for print table and print select. And that the print row here use something pretty cool in Rust Sqlite is you can get the statements, the prepared statements. And so here I get the statements, and then, so that is a statement. And then from the statement, I can get the column names. And so that is where I'm cheating a little bit to get the names. And so you can get the stuff. That's pretty cool. So that's why I use, and then I use a table things where it's going to do the formatting. And then this one is this guy. Okay, so I did a little bit a repeat of that. And then the next one is pretty cool, is the values. And the values, again, connection and things. If you want to have let connection on the file, you do a connection. Let's see if the other guy, no. Open. No, this is ChatGPT. Copilot is not that good. We'll do db.db3, for example. And if you do that, it will create that. It will just create a file. So this is pretty cool. The problem of that is I don't want that because when I create a table, I just create my schema and I assume nothing is run behind. So if I save this and I do a beacon run -q, but I have obviously an alias for that, a shell function, and you do beacon run example, C03, values, boom, I get the stuff. But then if I press again, and then I have my db_db.db3, but then if I press again, kaboom, because they say, hey, the table already exists. This is why when you learn SQLite, it's good to have in memory, because like this, you know, the stuff, and then we can go there. And it's grayed out because in my git ignore, I ignore everything that starts with dot or underscore. That's just my best practice. Okay, hope that is pretty good. And so in the value here, the things that I wanted to learn, this is the way I learn, and so this is the way I teach. I teach the way I learn, more or less. And so what we did here is we seed the user, a little bit like before. I didn't do the org business. I don't really care. So all the orgs are known on this guy. And then I think I could. No, I couldn't put none. If I put none here, it's not going to know which type it is. So I will have to do the cargo fish, the complicated stuff. But like this, it works because a none is, I need to tell which type it is of a none. And so then we do the insert. No, we don't do the insert on this one. We do the update. Update. Now, the cool thing here, the thing I forgot to tell you is the coolest stuff, is that, and I think is in the description. Let's try to see if I can get it from the description. Yep. So if you go to the description, I want to put it in the chat over there. Boom. So here you see that I have this thing here, and that is a live, the live. I don't auto-commit and auto-push, but that is where we are. So during this live, when I'm going to add things and things are going to work and I'm going to happy, I'm going to git commit, git push, and you will be able to follow along here on your side if you wanted to. So that is pretty cool. Now we do that. And so what we did on this guy is we created our name values list with org ID and things. So that was to show that we can have own values and build dynamic queries. And so that is very important to do that. Yeah, there's two ways of looking at SQL. One is you want everything to be static. And so in this case, if everything will be static, it means that sometimes you are going to update a cell that doesn't need to be updated. If everything is static on the select, it means that sometimes you are going to get cells that are not needed to be gotten. So the way I like to do it, is that the update is kind of a patch, and then you give the data and it just updates what needs to be updated. So that is a way that I like to have my SQL thing. So this is why this is the base of building a SQL builder or something like that. Typically for me, I do not really enjoy the ORMs. And the way I define ORM is an ORM for me is when the types that you have in Java, TypeScript, Go, or whatever, have all of the information that is needed for the database. So it's an exhaustive definition, and your database is driven by your types and the decorators, annotations, or whatever you want to call them, metadata, such as you can create and migrate and all of these kind of things. For me, I don't like that. Database is gold, code is silver. Okay, so the database, I like to create it in SQL. I like to have my migration in SQL. I own it. Sometimes there's data in my database that is none of the business of my code or my services. It's fine. So sometimes there's deprecated data that I don't want to pollute my code with, but I want to keep it for 6 months, a year in the database in case, we need it or something. Yeah. So once the data is gone. Yeah. And you can archive the old one, but it's very tricky to get the old one. So bottom line is, that is the approach here that I like, and this is basics to have this kind of builder in a way, because now we can take the value, we have the value that could come, for example, so I have a crate that is called ModQL. And so in ModQL, I have this business of a field, and you can decorate, attribute or whatever. The word attribute for decorator is always weird for me, but you can put your attribute, your macro attribute to say, okay, derived by fields and so on, and then you can get the fields out. And that gives you this kind of way to turn a struct into something that can be inserted. And that is the basic of it, because now that we have value, and here the value is not the value from CRD, but it's a value from Rust Sqlite, which is normal, yes? When you do CRD, when you do mLua, for example, for Lua, and everything, and you have two different systems, and you need to have type serialization and deserialization. In the Rust side, you always need a middleman in a way. And that is a middleman, and the middleman for the value is often called value. So that is where you put the thing in, and you get the thing out. So that is the values that we have over there. And that means that then after we unzip it to have the column names and the values. And then here we want to have a string that we can put here. So that is a goal. And then we have the value. We extract them from our vector. And then here's the trick that we did at the end of the last session is we did that where we added the where clause. So that is pretty cool because now we took this SQL and then we added the where clause again with prepare statement. And then we have the value. And then we take this vector here, which is reference. Yeah, so everything has to be on somewhere in the same block. And then we do a value push of the value as it did. I don't think if we do that, you probably not like it. Oh, it works. My mistake. Not John. So the thing I'm saying is to say value push, we push the thing, and then that is going to be coalesce. I think there's some cool coalescing here happening, and then everything is fine. And then we execute SQL, and with the array of values, and that will execute the things. It will return the number of, number of rows affected. Okay? So we can actually do that. I'm gonna update it, and then, wow, that's a cool. I put it there. Okay, and then if we go down, okay, number of row affected this, and it should be a println. Okay, any question, more than welcome. And one thing I'm going to do right now, we have this one. So I think this one is going to be a good look. And then this one, I wanted to remove that. I'm going to do that. This one is pretty cool. So I'm going to do that. Git log, I like to do that to see where I was. And I'm going to do a git c, which is an alias for git commit -a-m. And then dot minor. And I'm going to say minor code clean. Okay, GPO, git push or oranges. And that will go to you guys. Yeah, so now you should have that on your side if you have the thing, but you don't need it to follow. So the next steps that I want to do is going to be something very cool, which is JSON. So this is awesome stuff. And to tell you a little bit the thing here, sorry, I'm being, okay. No. Okay, and the reason here why I'm doing this is because before, back in the days, I have, and you can still find it on my animation channel, but I had done that because I've done a pretty big project that I didn't put open source yet, but with SQLite. So I had to learn it for myself. And so this is where I do it. So here I added CQuery and CQuery ModQL. This is more kind of advanced stuff. So I will do those videos later. But right now I would like to go at least up to JSONB and perhaps structs. So that will be the goal of my next Rust SQLite video. The problem of the CQuery is that CQuery, to use the latest Rust SQLite, you have to wait until the CQuery Rust SQLite binders adopt the latest Rust SQLite. So the way that the Rust SQLite works, which makes sense, is every time they update a version of SQLite, they do a major, which is a minor, but it's major in their case, update. And so CQuery doesn't pick it automatically. So then you have to wait until you get And sometimes I did a pull request, and I might need to do a pull request, or someone else might have done it. So that's why I'm not going to put the SQLite in this tutorial, probably. But this tool is super cool. So what I've done in my code there is you see that I have a data B and a data T. And the reason why is because, I don't know what they don't have the same space over there. I am a tab guy. And the reason why is because I'm using data T to put JSON text, JSON, and I'm using data B to put the JSON B, which is awesome. And this is where, SQLite is. For me, there's two databases, Postgres on the server, SQLite on the edge or client or whatever. And for me, by the way, the SQLite is going to be super important. I did a video this morning here, I don't know if you have seen it, but on DVI. So I'm working a lot on DVI. We might be using it today. And the SQLite, even for command line tool, I feel can be very useful because you can take a lot of contents that are disparate, put it in a kind of a cache even in SQLite DB, so it doesn't take place in the memory, but then it's very efficient to query it. In fact, when you have a lot of little files, it's more efficient to query a lot of little files in a SQLite DB than in your file system, because it's easier, simpler for the OS. Yeah. So this is pretty cool. So this is why SQLite for me, it's really kind of a gem on many reasons. Now, it's not a universal hammer. I don't believe in universal hammer, but there's so many use cases that can be done. And the whole JSON and JSONB is awesome. So now that I know I want that, and I'm sorry, I hide the chat. So now that I know I want that, so usually what I do is I decide which one I want to create. And you know what? So I'm going to keep and to go back to this one. So this is what I will do, yeah, even if I were myself. I will go back to this one to make sure it's run. And I go back to DB utils. And I'm going to, by the way, feel free to ask questions or anything in the chat, or if I'm too loud or too low or whatever, I'm always happy to, oops, sorry, hopefully I didn't break someone's ear. Feel free to ask any question. So now print select, and it's more in the seed. And I want in the person, so I had the data. So I'm going to follow what I had before, data T, and that is going to be a text. And data B, yes, I'm going to put that like this. And that is going to be a blob. I don't put that, I always put that usually, but today I'm going to be good. Now I press save, and then boom, it works. They're both new, it's normal. So now everything kind of works probably. Yeah, good. And then the other one was not using it. So now I'm going to do, my question in my head is which one I take as a base. I'm going to take the simple as a base. So I'm going to do that, copy it, C03, JSON. JSON, okay? And no, not C03, sorry. C04. Thank you, really appreciate it. And by the way, it is going to be funny because there's a lot of people, I understand, they go to Twitch, and I think Twitch is probably a better platform for streaming, I think. But my community is on YouTube and everything, so at least for the next 3 to 6 months, I might change my mind. I always reserve my, I can always change my mind without any shame. But the thing I'm saying is, my goal is going to try to like stream a lot on YouTube and see how it goes. And I'm not saying YouTube is better for streaming. For streaming, I'm not. I didn't do a lot of streaming, so I don't really know. I'm still learning. So then, okay, I have the JSON. I'm good. So now remember, in the C01 simple, this is where I decided to have the schema there, such as I can goof around with the schema. This is what I want in the simple, C01 simple. Because the thing here, even if that is going to be used for my videos, when I'm going to do the final video, which will be 20 to 40 minutes, to teach Rust Sqlite, I want to use the same XP, Rust-XP-SQLite, for me. It just happened that today I have another one, but eventually I want to decommission it. And actually, the one I have, the other guy, what is? It's over there. This guy, you can find it on my Jeremy Chon channel. It's I rename it -JC, and this will might go away. I don't know. So, but when it's -JC, it's a variant for me that I still put outside because I like to share. There's so many cool things about open source that when we can share, we should share because it's a way to pay back. So the thing I'm saying is, we do the things. And so in this case, I do not need to own the schema because the way that JSON works and even if it was not the case, I wouldn't do it. But the way that JSON works in SQLite, it is not like Postgres where you will do a JSON-B or whatever it is. Yeah, it's still blob. And then the other guy is still text. So JSON is the old one. It's the first support where I think I'm stepping a little bit ahead here, but the whole point is that SQLite is just doing the parsing, the validation probably of the JSON and allows you to do some query, but it has to parse everything out and everything. So basically you're saying SQL do the parsing and then I can query and then that's it. In the blob things, you have a binary way, and so SQL do a little bit more than parsing and validating the JSON text, is actually change it to whatever their blob format is, which is, I think, super smart, and I didn't go into it. But then they have this, it's not O1 like Postgres JSON-B, which is amazing, but has a lot of benefits. And it can, I don't know if they can index, but there's a lot of benefits when you use JSON-B. So long story short is, I can, even if the other guy doesn't use a JSON-B, I can have a common one because you don't put it as a type. So I'm going to remove that. I'm going to, because I don't want, I'm super lazy. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to go back to my seed. And I'm going to add, okay, I already add these two, so I'm happy. And then that's it. And nobody used that before, so I'm okay. Okay, so now I'm okay. I'm going to insert, so I just put it in %, so I'm going to insert gen. We're going to keep gen. And we're going to insert, and here I'm going to cheat in the open here. We're going to insert, because it took me a little while to have it right. We're going to insert a user, and so you create JSON with CRD JSON, so that will give you a thing, but there might be a, do I need to add a guy? Oh, I have all of this because of, I'm going to need these guys and set a JSON on this one. So now, when you add set a JSON like that, is because the Rust Sqlite did nicely the binding, the from to SQL and the to SQL or whatever, these guys, such as we can pass. Otherwise, you could not use that and I think just pass a string. But this way you can pass the static JSON. So I think this is good. In a way, I could do one example without the static JSON and one with the static JSON to show. But I think we're going to do that right now. And so we're going to do static JSON. Everything else is things that CQuery and all of that is things that I needed for my big example here, which I'm not going to crowd this Rust Sqlite for now. So I'm just going to need this guy and set a JSON. So I'm going to show you up and go back there. I'm going to here. So I have an extension, which is Rust 10x. Is my extension. It's open source. You can find the code somewhere. I think, I mean, it's within the code. There's a link somewhere. And it's just code snippets. And the one that I use a lot. And so what I like to do is, for example, on this guy, I will do something like that, db, and then I will do one, I think CRD JSON. I often use CRD with. CRD with is awesome. So this is why I put it in my snippet. Today, we're not going to use it. So I'm going to keep it there. We're going to use these two guys. Okay? Now I go back there and I obviously forgot to put this and bundle. Okay. So now we have that. Compiles, everything is happy. We can do, this guy is compiling. So can we do that? BRE. So BRE is, for the one that just joined, is bacon run examples. Yeah, but with quiet and everything. So it's my little alias. Yeah, I always, it's a shell function that I've done. So I can do C04 JSON. Boom. And then it works. So far, so good. Don't really care, but that's good. So now what we want is we want to create a JSON. And we know that we have data T underscore T and data underscore B. So what we're going to use is data underscore T, because right now we're not going to use a JSON B. And for that, we're going to say let. We're going to say data T. Yeah, was kind of a boring things. And we're going to do a JSON. So that is from shared JSON. And then we're going to have something like that. And we're going to have data JSON. And then we're going to have address San Francisco. Yes, it's still cool. And then zip code or zip call 94114. Okay, so I don't give too much. And then I do save. Okay, I should probably not do that, but anyway, it's 9114. And we will go to the live stream member later anyway. So the thing is, we have that, and the goal will be to say, how can we pass it to data T? Thank you, Furf. Anyway, very bad with spelling, and then you guys are not making it easy on me. But it's good. I need to practice the C shell and all this stuff. So so now this is the third one. Sorry. And this one is going to be that guy. So now if we do that, he's going to complain. He has to complain. It will be too easy. It's not complaining. It's pretty cool. So what did I do there? What did I do? Ah, you know what I did, I think. So in this case, I didn't need the threaded JSON. We're going to try that. Yes, okay? Just for me, just at least, anyway, I need to do it because I need to look smart when I do the video. So I'm going to say, if I do JSON, it's going to tell me it's okay right now. And that is because the Rust Sqlite team did awesome work with the threaded JSON. Now, if we go there and we are going to comment this guy, that boom error. It's normal, yeah, because the value doesn't have the toSQL. So that makes sense. And then if we do a toSQL, a toString, that will work. Okay, so we're good. So we're cool. So now the only thing that we did here is cute, but we just did these things where we inserted a text into a data text. That's not really a JSON things per se. But what it allows you to do, sorry, is that if you go there, and then this one, it took me a little bit of time finding the one. So there's this kind of stuff here. So you get the things, you get the ID. So that is a way, I'm going to do this way is better. So the way here that you do is you get the ID like this, you prepare the statement, you do an insert, you do a returning ID, and then you can do a query rule. And that is pretty cool. It's kind of, it's not new, it's been a while, but before they didn't have returning ID, SQLite. So that was crazy. They had like a hacky way of doing it. And now they have the proper way. And so that is awesome. So I think in a way, I'm going to take this. I'm sorry for the copy paste. And I'm going to paste it there. And so it's basically two steps. They execute. And what I did in my thing is I did it in, I have a little utility function. But right now, we're not going to do the utility function because I'm scared about this type here. This is the query row type. Is a special one, which I think might be okay. I don't know. There's a trick that I don't want to solve now. ID, and then I'm going to say, hey, ChatGPT, can you do that? That's pretty cool. Copilot. That's good. I think it makes sense. Yeah. So we're going to remove that. I don't know where I have that. And it works. So everything works the same. Yeah, so sometimes it's weird because it almost go too fast. Yeah? Who say Rust was slow? So it works. Sometimes when it's too fast, yes. So everything works. So now, sorry here, I need to do it below. I need to be careful about showing you what I'm doing. Yeah. So sometimes the chat is it's a little bit tricky. So that we did the insert. So basically we do in two, and then we do the what am I doing? No, but the insert here is going. Sorry, I'm slow here. Yeah, not really SQL. I mean, let me. Okay, let me change here. This is a problem of this Copilot business. I always think it's cool, and then This is not what I didn't want it to have the insert. The insert, does the insert? Oh, no, but I don't, that would be too much if the insert will assume row ID. Huh, interesting. I didn't even know about this one. Yeah, okay. Oh, well, this one is dangerous. Okay, so listen here, because this one is important. So whoever listen later. That was the old days. The old days with SQLite. You have a connection, but don't use that. This, I think this should be not deprecated, but a big warning. At least, or perhaps I missed something. The thing here is when you do the last insert like that, there was a way, that was the old way where you make a query, and if it's an insert, you can say, hey, connection, not statement, not result, to say, hey, connection, do you have a last insert row ID? And then it was returning it. But that gets very tricky because things can work on each other. And even if, when you do a write, you should have a mutex, I think, when you use SQLite. Even with that, this is super dangerous. So I wouldn't do that at all. What I will use is, I will make an API, and I will use that way where you do the query row. So now it's not the agent name, yeah? So it's this guy. Okay, so bear with me. We're going to make it happen. And then we're going to, okay. And now I have also the query row, which is 1p. Oh. That's not good. Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Because here I'm doing query row and I'm saying, can you return me a get ID? Return me from the row. This is a row. And that is row. And I'm saying return the get, the first item as a 64. And the thing is, I didn't have returning ID. Now, when I do that, ba-boom, we're back to where we should be. And that debug print, we should have the ID. Okay, so ID 1. That's good. And so that is the ID 1. Now, there will be an argument to say, well, are we sure that is ID 1 and not the number of rows updated? But here we did a query row, so we're good enough. So now we do the select. But in the select, and I think in this session here, we are like, how long? 49? Well, actually, we can do perhaps the JSON-B as well. This is the business of JSON. And this is basically sub. Okay, cool. Cool. This is exactly what we want. This is cool. This is awesome. So here's what we did, okay? We did the insert. We have Jen, year of birth 2000, and then she lives in San Francisco, 94114. Okay? So far, so good. Let's say that we want to change the zip code. For example, 14104, whatever. Which I'm always confused which one is mine. But the thing I'm saying is, think it's because I changed. I mean, I lived in two places. And then the thing I'm saying is that now what we want, sorry. What we want, and the value of JSON is that we can update only this guy. Now, because we're using JSON text, what is happening on the backend, on the SQLite, is that it takes a whole JSON, parsing it, then have its own little way of updating only one field, and then it put the whole string back in the database. With JSONB, it gets smarter. It can go and edit the data directly. So that is what is happening. So in this case here, we know that we have the person ID over there. So this one will be, ID is 1. I don't know why it's question mark 1 here. I need to think about it. Oh, the 1 is this guy, perhaps. Okay. Oh, it's like Lua, I start at 1. Oh, it's the same generation. Yeah, it's a -- comments. And then we're going to change the zip code. Zip. I'm not going to do 9. Okay, the zip code. Oh, here, the thing I had. Oh, yeah, I remember. This one was because it was a Boolean. And the Boolean was a little bit a tricky one to do. We'll do that, actually. Okay, we're going to add a Boolean. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to do zip 2. And then this one, yeah, 2, 2, 2, 2. 2. Oh, I need to make it San Francisco like. Okay. So 9, 4 stuff. And then this guy for now, I'm going to stuff. So this is the ID. This guy, not really a big fan of this, but, and that is a value of that only. And then we do anybody that is greater than 2000. Okay. We do not have to do that, but. Okay, this is probably because of IR. Okay, fair enough. Oh, this is so cool. Oh, 94222. This is amazing. Anyway, this is pretty cool. So now that it works. Now let's say that we want to add a Boolean, and we're going to learn two things here. Yeah. So every database that have the SQLite, JSON and stuff, they always have their little funky. I'm not putting it down. I'm just saying that they have to have their own specific syntax to not overload with their syntax and everything. So that's why every time it's a little journey here to learn that. And then the stuff is we're going to say homeowner. Okay. And we are going to set it. Jen is super lucky because. So I remember now, with this execute and everything, you can put the thing by order, I think, if you don't put this. Or you can number them, or you can name them with the colon. I think this is the 3 ways that it supports. And I'm not sure who. Yeah, I'm sure. It's probably SQLite that support that. So homeowner and true or false, and we're going to do true like that. And that is where I might complain. Press save. Ooh, does not complain. Okay, so oh, you see, oh yeah, no, because Oh yeah, yes, is 1 and false is 0. But I don't want that. I don't want 1 or 0. I want a bool. So this is why I remember now. That was like a long time ago. I do the JSON of the for. So this is a function that they have. JSON of 3. No. You know what? Perhaps I did. Oh, here it is. Yeah, because it doesn't, it's a JSON of the string. So I have to, do they have a as_str? Oh, that's lame. 2str. Okay, to string, I guess. I'm sorry, I'm being slow here. It works, yeah. Sorry, I was working on at my OBS, and we do a true, boom, and it works. Yeah, so that is, a little thing that we have to learn about. But now we can update one guy like that. And then I don't know if I want. That's cool because we learned the JSON set. Now the thing I'm asking in my head is to say, will it be cool to also have a query, have a select on all of the person? I don't think I have that. I have that there. Oh, no, this is, I want to have it on the where. So, 2 ways to do it. One way is I can so here I'm sorry, here I'm going to explain what I have in my head, and I need to be better at this slide business. So feedback always welcome. A very good question here. Do SQLX and Rust Sqlite have similar usage? I think at the high level they have similar usage. SQLX uses lib S3 or whatever, which is the compiled version of SQLite, of Rust Sqlite. So this lib things is part of SQL of Rust Sqlite, but SQLX does not use Rust Sqlite, from my understanding. And then SQLX had its own things where it had this from a struct. It doesn't have a struct into values, but you have the from when you have a row, and if you annotate your struct, you can get it back. And then they have the migration and static and all these kind of things, which for me, I'm not using because it's not my approach. So SQLX has more value and Rust Sqlite is more raw in a way. Yeah, it's more at the select level. And then you are the one doing the rest. So me, when I talk with SQLite, I like to use Rust Sqlite because the rest, I'm not like static. SQL is not a thing for me because things should be dynamic often. And then the rest, the nice thing that they have is when you have a struct, they have a good from a row. But that I found other ways of implementing it. So I like to go to the Rust Sqlite. And then the problem also, the things that I'm pretty amazed with SQLX is I think they took on them, it might make sense, I don't know, because I've never done a SQL, database SQL driver, but they took on them to have native communication, I think. on Postgres, SQLite, and everything. They go at the binary because I don't think that even in Postgres, they don't use a Postgres crate. They have their own things. And so for me, I'm very impressed in one way. And in the other way, I'm saying, well, you know, it's a lot to bite. So in a way, do I want to bet on a crate that just do one thing very well? It's not saying that SQLX is not doing everything very well, but that is my thinking in my head. And but then someone could say the same thing about my GenAI library. So I need to be careful about what I wish for. But for example, my GenAI library, if you want to use text-to-speech for OpenAI, well, my GenAI won't do that. So you use async OpenAI. But if you want to normalize chat across all of the AI providers and models, then GenAI is good. So every time you have, it's a give and take. Yeah, there's no free lunch. So bottom line is we have the row next and stuff. Now, the things that I want to do now is that select, where it will be so cool if I could select, and then it's going to be a little bit silly here because I only have one user. And so I only have one user. So it's a little bit silly. I need to find a good way of creating these guys in a nicer way, in a loop. Okay, I'm going to do it now, actually. Let data. So I'm going to have the data, and I'm going to have the name. So that will be Jen. And the second guy is going to be my zip code. So that will be 94114. And then after, I'm going to have Mike. And everybody is going to live in San Francisco today. And that will be 94115. Okay, so this one should be not too bad. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do a for person or p data, person data in data. And I'm going to copy these two guys over there. That will be name zip. Zip. Pretty cool. And then the person ID here is not there. Okay, I'm going to be lazy for now. Lect IDs. Vect I64, I think I did. Copilot is not, I mean, I'm not happy with this guy. And sometimes it's good, yeah, so I'm not saying, but I only have it on option / so like this, I don't see his code all the time. So hopefully now you get it right. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that might make sense, perhaps, I don't. And then, well, actually it's pretty smart. He knows that it's mute, so he knows that I'm going to mute it later. Okay, that's fair enough. And now if I do, okay, I stand corrected. It's pretty good. And then I'm going to do person. Person is very French, yes? Person. Do I put E everywhere? No. One, and I'm going to do IDs get. All right, Clippy is going to complain first. So this is what I love the boxed in error, because, and I made a video about that, is because when you do your boxed-in error, you can do these kind of things. You do a OKR, and you can the string has an into, or static string has an into, or str has an into boxed-in error. So now I can do my little OKR or whatever, and then I do question mark. So it's very convenient. I'm going to use ID. Now this is cool. I have these two guys. I don't know why I do a print. Yeah, I don't need that. That was a leftover of before. We upgraded ourselves. So 94222, because that is what we changed from 94104 and 14115, which is good. And the homeowner has been set on Jen, lucky Jen. And that is wrong. And this is because I probably didn't use a name over there. That, and then I have that. Cool. I have Jen, Mike. Jen is the lucky one, and then that's it. Okay. So this is good. So usually what I will do when I'm there, I will do something like that. Git C, and I'm going to do the thing. So for everybody's at rest for a little while, here's the bonus with the C04. So till is mean work in progress. And usually what I do is I squash them. In this live, for GC live branch, I'm not going to squash them. I'm going to leave them there because it's working. The branch of GC live is going to be a solo branch because main will restart and main will have the real step for the future videos that I'm going to do. Yeah, the condensed video. So I'm going to do C03, JSON, create, update. Okay, this is what we do. Now the thing that, git add, it's good I didn't push it, git amend, this is an alias I have, git log, I'm happy, make sure that it works for you. BRE, C04, JSON, okay, everything works nicely, quit, git push oranges, and then you should get it. Git log. So that's it. So I think is, shouldn't the execute run on statement, results, and connection? That is a good point. Which one? This one? No, this one. No, this one I want to have a new guy. The statement is only on this guy, and this is running there. And then, no, I think it's good. I think it's good. The statement here, we prepare the stuff, we run the statement. This one, we can run it as is, so we don't need to do the prepare statement because we don't have a returning business. And if we were, can you do a returning in update? Perhaps, yeah. If we had a returning, then we will need it, but we don't need it. And then, so the only reason why we have two is because we want to get the value of the things. And then this one is because, this one I wouldn't need. Yeah, this one we need it because we want the rows back. Yeah. So when we just want to execute, this will return the number of row changes. And then the rest will return whatever query. And there is a query one that returns only one guy. Yeah, so query row only return one guy. And then this guy return rows. Okay, so now what we are is, I would like to do a select. And the thing is I would like to select everybody that has a homeowner. So like this, I can check that it doesn't complain when it doesn't have an owner, and also that it finds it. So that is quite a bit to check. So right now I do, so what I will do here is not, this is not needed in a way because I just do a print. Okay, I'm going to keep it. So this is where I want to do the select. Select home owner only. Because that we're not using it right now. I just did it as a leftover from before. We're not using it because we're doing the print table below. Okay, so if I do this, that will do a print table. Okay, so what we want is to do a select. Now, this gets tricky because there's things over there and stuff. So there's a couple of ways we can do it. We can go to the doc of SQLite, which we might do. Or we can go to AI. And there's no shame of AI. So we really need to embrace AI more and more. I embrace it so much. I did my own AI tool. You can use Copilot and stuff. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to try it with the dev AI. I have the environment keys over there. I did a new things here. I did a release of dev AI 0.5.6. Installed the 0.5.7. 0.5.6 didn't compile on non-Mac OS. My bad. Fixed it this morning. Compile on 0.5.7. And it's basically a runtime that allows you to have your own custom agents. And I provide some default custom agents. One default custom agent that I provide is this one. It's on default agent. And I have the craft module. So now I have even the module business where within craft, I can have multiple agents. I have craft code, craft test. And I use that all the time when I send email for my business and stuff. I use that. It's much better than using, for me, much better than using ChatGPT UI or whatever, or other UIs, because I can create my agent. I'm all VS Code driven anyway. So this is VS Code independent. But because I like text files, it works very well, and I made my own. So the whole logic to see there, it's there. And I'm using Lua for the logic. So I have some, custom things, and you can even import your own Lua things here, which is going to be this one. So here I have my Lua function, which is prep input, should skip, prep install and content. And then I return these functions, and then I can use them over there. And so that is very powerful because now I have control on my prompt. So on the system, I say, hey, only the code within the markdown, do not give any explanation. This one, I need to tune it a little bit, and so on. And if I want to make it my own, I just copy this guy, I put it in custom agent, and then after I can customize it, and it will run it from there. So now, bottom line is, I have a placeholder. So placeholder, I say, hey, dev AI, skip. And the reason is content is a placeholder. So now what we can do is, so we're going to assume, and right now I think I'm using DeepSeek. No, I'm using, on this guy, I'm using that. I can use anything I want. So I'm going to use this guy, and we can change to anything. So this is, I support most of the languages. So now what I'm going to do, and again, all the time, like this one here, again, I'm going back to what we need to do. What we need to do is, we created our JSON, cool. We added it as a string with there's no CRD JSON help or whatever. We just put it as a string, which is a way SQLite is okay with. And then we are using the JSON set function to just set one guy to change it, and then we change this guy, and we notice that it didn't remove address. Yeah, so that is not like we updated everything. We keep some of it, and we just change one and added another property. Everything works very well, and then we had the thing displayed. What we want now is to say, I want to select everybody that has a homeowner. And it's not very clear here how to do it. We could hunt it in the doc, or we could go to craft code. So when I do the dev AI run craft/code, by default, if I don't give any -i, input and a name, it will create a file which is _craft-code.md. And so I'm going to, using Rust, so by default it's using Rust, but using Rust and Rust Sqlite. Actually, I don't even need to say that. And the reason why is when you want to use AI, the more the knowledge is common and has been written a lot, the more AI will perform. Yeah, because you don't need to give extra files. So I'm going to say using SQLite, I have data T with data T of type text with this data, and we are going to, I should learn how to go back and forth. We're going to use that. With this data, I have a person, data with data type with this data, and we're going to say homeowner, true. Oh, yeah, true. That's correct. And then we're going to say, how can I make the SQLite query to select person with homeowner? True. And here you can click here, press R to replay. So it will replace the agent with this content now. Or what I've done is in VS Code, I've wired my shortcut Command R to send R to the terminal. So Command R, going to chat, and then it, oh, that was simple. Okay, that's cool. Okay, that was simple enough. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go back to my file over there. I'm going to say let homeowner equal true. So this is a nice little variable. I'm going to select person here on B, and then I will say person data T. And the reason why I have those guys is because when I have the join now, we don't need that. Year of B stuff. And then, well, we're going to remove that. And we're going to do that. I'm going to do that like that. I'm sorry, I need to move the, I think I can move it even higher. So that should work. Stuff. Stop this guy. We go to this guy. Work, so at least the statement. Well, I didn't execute the statement yet. And then I'm going to, well, okay. I don't know if that will work there. HO, homeowner. HO. So here I'm going to assume it's true. Yeah. Yes, yes. Yeah, yes. So often, look at what I have, and moreover with the latest one. So the question is, can DVI run locally on Mac M4? This is what I have. So right now, I've run it with the DeepSeek chat. This one is a C shell for me. Of when you say DeepSeek chat, it runs on the deepseek.com. DeepSeek rezoning also goes there, but if you do a DeepSeek, let me see. Actually, I'm going to show you. It's pretty cool. So if I have Olama, I have my Olama. Yeah, Olama list. Boom, you can put anything there. Take, I think I've done this one, the R115B. Yeah. So if you do the big R1 for ADP, but that's not a DVI issue. Yeah. But anything you can run probably bigger here, the 70B or whatever. I don't know what they have, but you just put that. Make sure that you have your Olama running, and that will run. So let's save that. Okay, now I'm curious. We do that, and we go back to our things over there. We remove that. Okay, poof, poof, done. Oh, big fail. Okay, so I'm going to tell you one thing here. It's funny because I tested it last time. Okay. Something weird. Okay, it works. There's something weird with so it works, yeah. So there's something weird happening with DeepSeek, which I don't understand why, because I thought I fixed it and I tested it. Oh, I know. Look at this. Look at that. So here's the thing. Because DVI, this is real live, yeah. So I'm going to show you. I didn't, so the thing is my cargo lock is private. So if you build DVI right now, you will get the 0.7. And then, no, it's cool, but this is awesome stuff. The 0.7 is the 0.5.7. If you build it, you will get the latest one. The thing is, I didn't do, if you do a cargo outdated -r, this is what I have. Go there, and it says GNI 117. I added the DeepSeek local and stuff because they were already Olama local, but I added support for both the remote and local one if you have Olama, because it falls back to Olama. So if I do a cargo update, if I do a cargo install -path dot, so that I'm installing it for myself, but so I'm installing it 0.5.8, but if you install it, because I don't put that yet on the things, if you install it, you would get the latest GNI. So now, if I'm back there, and we go back, so if we go there, we come here, we see that the thing has worked. Well, not that good. Actually, this is not what we wanted. Yeah. So Llama 3, not that good. That's why it's good to have multiple AI. So this guy is bad. Now if we go back to this guy, deepcoder13, this one is small. So if this one crashes, the other guys can go home. I'm going to remove it to make sure it doesn't have context. And then I'm going to say, hope it works. Otherwise I look stupid. Oh, a big fail. No, I don't know why. No, it shouldn't go there. So I need to, I'm sorry. I will fix this one. So now I will fix this one here because GenAI works, but somehow DevAI doesn't get the thing here. So I need to make sure that is a thing. But you can put Llama, you can put anything of Llama. Yeah, that's what we have seen. So I'm going to put the DeepSeek, and I will make sure here that it works. So watch for 0.5.9 or something like that, or 0.8, because I need to make sure it works on local, because I think the local DeepSeek things with Llama are awesome. So I definitely want to stuff. This is the thing. So now I do this, that will work, and that will give me the right way. So it give me this. So now I am there. I think I can do multi-line like that, yeah? And JSON extract and HO, true. I can go there to make sure that it give me this. That's good. And go back there. And now I do a print. So the cool thing here of my little utilities over there is rows. Yeah, give a try to DevAI, and once you learn, I mean, I'm using it all the time. So it's and in fact is going even to get cooler, because the runtime of DevAI, I'm going to put it in a crate that I own, and stuff is agentic. So it's going to become an agentic stuff, but not the marketing agentic stuff, but more like, you know, things. So print rows and give the rows. What? Yeah. Okay, so why it doesn't... Oh, yeah, print row doesn't need connection. It's true. Sorry, my bad. Just the rows. And here we don't need the mute. So this is pretty cool, and we're going to see if he complains. The only thing I'm saying here is this is what I don't like, but I'm going to do that like this right now. It's the safest way, I think, assuming that works when it's inside a thing. And now I'm actually worried about where I need to make sure. Sorry, I'm making sure. Where do I have? Okay, org ID. Wanted to make sure that there is no question mark here or something like that. So I do that, and I have that. And now I do this. Ah, so scary. Epic fail. Well, I think I should be able to remove that. Yeah, and I think there's a trick here. What if... Oh, okay. That's cool. That's pretty cool. Just trying to... So that is a way that the bounding works. It's a little bit tricky. So it's cool. We did the things. We added the thing, and now we just get, you know, thing stuff. And homeowner. And now I'm curious. So I'm going back to my craft code here. And I'm going to say, how can I do SQLite query for person that does not have homeowner, or homeowner is false? That would be cool. And again, there's nothing wrong. The development ecosystem had changed. Yeah, we cannot code the way we coded before. It's done. It's gone. So we have two ways. Either we listen to, the Mark Zuckerberg and stuff, say developer is dead, medium developer will be AI and all of this, wishful thinker. Or we embrace AI and we make it our side. We wrap it and we control it and we make it ourselves much more productive. And every time it's thinking about AI all the time, you say, how can I use it to get better? Sometimes it's going to mess up stuff. This is great that when it mess up, because the other guys that count only on AI, they are going to spin their wheels like hamsters. But for us, we'll get a sense of when it's good and when it's bad and how to improve it. And we'll be above, people that doesn't want to understand what it generates. So there's a huge benefits when we understand what it generates compared to the people that doesn't understand what it generates. So how can I make the SQL okay? That is my little pitch on AI. And then I do this. And so there's only one thing here in my stuff. I need to, this I will solve it one day. Select where from an array is new. That's fair enough. Or from stuff and things. The thing I don't like about that, but then I don't know SQLite, so they might be smart, is like you're like getting the stuff twice. But now it might be smart. It might say, when you get something, you just decache it probably. So I'm not going to get too much about this. And then I will do something like that. Select homeowners. And then I will say a println with owning homes. Let's put equal. And then I will do a let. Does this guy need to be mute? I don't know if it doesn't have to be mute. Eventually I will. Well, I don't know because sometimes, it needs to be mute. Sometime when, you create an error and it doesn't see the next one. So I created an error below and then it didn't see. So now we have a mute. Go prepare. And I'm going to put that there. And I'm going to do where. So cool that we can do multi-line stuff. Okay. That looks pretty good to me. And then I have the row. No, I don't need that. So the question is, how do I think I can do it empty. How can I do it empty then? Okay, I'm going to give it some tries here. Yes, I agree more and more with your statement about AI. So I'm going to be happy, obviously, but I've started to use ChatGPT more and more 6 months ago, and I'm starting to get the instinct, yes, it will answer correctly. And and also you will learn when it won't. Yeah, so for example, here, Rust Sqlite, why didn't go to the Rust Sqlite? Because Rust Sqlite is not, it might not be that popular. Now, to be honest, and this is where my DVI, I still have a subscription to ChatGPT or whatever. My DVI is awesome, and I think it does some use cases very good because you have the control of your prompt of everything. So there's no surprise of what you can, it's going to get more and more powerful. Now, it doesn't replace everything because, for example, in the case of ChatGPT, the thing I've been surprised is I was asking about a library. I was actually asking about DVI a while back, and he went and he looked at GitHub, the Git repo, and he gave me a relatively good answer of my README. And everything I didn't have in my README, he didn't know. So that is a new SEO, is a AEO, or whatever we want to call it, which is how do we optimize our content, like for example, the DVI or whatever you do the stuff, such as if people are doing a search, that the get lucky of search is really informative when it's our data. And then it can get more useful for people. So that is always something I'm thinking about. I need to do the stuff. And the doc is not bad because the doc is also a thing. But the funny thing here with DVI, you can do a run ask DVI. And the ask DVI, look at that. It does, oh, okay, I'm going to load the docs. So I return docs when you install DVI, when you run it in your directory, I install the doc here. So now he knows the docs. And then I say the placeholder because I like this pattern, blah, 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 all of this. This could be probably simplified. And then I have the prompt. And it's a single file where I can ask DVI to write a DVI agent. So things get super powerful. It changes the way. So we have to adapt faster, such as we can let the Mark and all these teams in the dust. Yeah, and then they would come and beg us. So right now, well, beg us kind of because they have billions. We're the ones that don't. So let's row statement query things. There's something here. I don't remember. Okay, that's good enough. So they have an into, yeah? So all of this kind of thing is because they have into, yeah? So they have an into void, into things and stuff. So this is where it gets things. And the into empty array, I don't even know if it's possible because you wouldn't know what the empty array is of. Might be possible, I don't know. Yeah, I need to test if I can do a from things. But I think it's much more better to do like this. Square void, get it, stuff. And now print people owning homes, and then print people not owning homes. Okay. That's not cool. That's not cool. And I think it's not cool because, because of this. So basically I got the people owning homes. It's cool. But I don't get people not owning homes. That's not cool. What is this one? Okay, I need to check that. I don't like it because it's not symmetrical. And this is MOCD. It's not, there's no symmetry. I don't like when it's not symmetrical. So that stuff, and then I say select not home owners. Okay, now I'm happier. And so there's nobody that doesn't own homes, and the reason is because, oh yeah, because I think I should be a JSON. So if I wanted to hardcode it, and here I'm okay to hardcode it because it's hardcoded. Yeah, I'm not doing a format and I give some things there, because otherwise in SQLite or Postgres always prepare statement. Don't inline your data. There's some people that say, yeah, but if you already know what you do, you can do it. Don't do it. I mean, like for me, I don't give myself authorization to do it because the cost of failure is way too high for something that is pretty good to use. Yeah. And anyway, that is a way that the database do better SQL planning. When you prepare statement, I'm going to say something here without knowing a little bit, but I would assume that it prioritizes a little bit more this statement for further SQL planning and SQL optimization. So I do that, and I don't like it. Why it doesn't work? On okay, so that is weird. Actually, that shouldn't have mattered, actually. So I'm going to do, oh, sorry, guys. People saw it. I'm so sorry. Okay, and now I have it. People, not stuff. Now, to be honest, we don't know if this guy has been taken or not, because that could have been this guy. So what we can do is, what can we do? Oh yeah, I'm sorry. What we can do is we can say homeowner, and I will remove it after. Yeah. This is not a test. False. Boom. Now we know that it doesn't work. Okay, that's okay. JSON false. Remember, we had to do JSON over there. JSON 3. What about doing that? Oh, that is not going to like it. Oh, yeah, okay, fair enough. I don't know about that. No. Okay, we're going, I don't like because I don't understand it. In JSON, true and false are not. Yeah, so this is why I'm putting it in the JSON guy. Oh, you think it's like that? Let's say listen, JSON false. Okay, I get it. So the reason is, I think, is because SQLite does not have a Boolean type. Yeah, it just have those types. Actually, you can see it in the print rows. It has these types: new, integer, real for like stuff, text, and blob. And Boolean is often used by convention in integer. So the trick here is that when you do a JSON extract kind of things, they couldn't return true because true wouldn't have been a type, it wouldn't have been a valid SQLite value. They could have returned true as a text, but it would have been weird. So what they did is they did this, which is returning 0 or 1. So I'm sure that if you do this, I should see, yeah, Jen. Yeah, so not owning, but in fact she owns. It's true because I put 1. So that is the way they did it, SQLite, and makes total sense because they don't have a Boolean type. And so rather than the JSON extract return a string text true or false, lowercase, they decided to return 0 or 1, which is good enough. Yeah. So that is the reason. And I think that is going to conclude this stream. I'm going to do another stream, probably not today, tomorrow morning. I think I have time. I'm going to do another stream about the JSON B. So it's going to be it's very similar to that, but then we'll be able to use JSON B, which is a binary, and then we will store it. So feel free to ask questions until before I end the stream, but I will store it in the data _B. So that is the thing that we're going to do. And so everything is pretty neat right now. It's working well. So I'm going to do that. Here's the way I'm doing. Please feel free to ask questions or feedback in the comments. The thing is ending soon. We did some good work today. I'm going to comment this one out, such as I can get the Clippy clean. Homeowner, clean it. So I like to turn it off when I learn and when I experiment, but I really like to turn it back off. I mean, turn it off when I do experiment, and then I turn it back on, Clippy, to make sure that I'm not leaving anything, because it's always very good stuff. I mean, it's better than AI. I mean, Clippy is level up, and it's very cool. So I think everything is good. Git log, just to see where I am. Since I already pushed it, and I don't want to do git push force, because if people have it, it's kind of annoying. So I'm going to do git c, and then I'm going to say plus. So typically this one, I wouldn't have pushed it. I would have merged it to this guy, c3.c3 JSON first pass, because I might update it, complete, kind of. Okay. This is what I do, GPO, and you should have it in the URL that I sent it before. So everything should be good. Hey, Shin, and thanks a lot, Shin. I don't know, I'm sorry. Thanks a lot for your support, by the way. Really, really appreciate all of your support. And so you will have this live stream now is kind of this ad hoc live stream is this is a new stuff here. So let me see if my stuff works, and I do things. So this ad hoc live stream is when I code things that I anyway need to code. One thing I do is that I put them in, I do this live stream now, public, and they are going to be public for 12 hours, well, 24 hours, I don't know. Then a couple of days on the early access, and then live stream members indefinitely. And then we have another type of live stream, and those are more scheduled, where I schedule them ahead of time. I do the members topic polling, and I schedule them, and then we focus on production. And right now we are a lot focused on the Rust web app kind of things, which I might do some public streaming as well, but those streams are much more structured, and those are live stream members only. So that is the way it works. But today I think we did a pretty cool job. I think hopefully everything was good for everybody. And until next one, happy coding.